Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down, into the lane, lay it up and good. Kriisa, turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a three out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Off the rim goes Kugel. Rebound off to Arizona. Kriisa will dish it ahead to Bradley. Cats want to push it. JB quickly down. Through traffic. Drives. Kiss it off the glass and score it.
Yeah, really nice play there by Jaden Bradley going coast to coast. No one stopped the basketball, allowing him to get to the rim.
Bradley working out high left down. Run to double screen. Throw it back. Karchinkov. Down low to Awaka. Slam it home.
Big time finish. Toby Awaka able to finish that through contact.
Pretzel inbounded to Kriisa. Left to the lane, working its way into the paint. Little jump hook up and good. Boy, Mo loves that shot. Wildcats ball the other way. Quickly to Burries, drives inside. Lay it up and score it. Boy, a tough shot for Burries. Gets it to go. 65-55 Arizona. There's a lob play. Bradley to Pete, who slams it home.
Yeah, give that bucket to Tommy Lloyd. That's a play that they have been running versus the zone. Knew it would be there. Beautiful lob play.
Inbounds to go to Burries, and they won't foul him, and that's going to be it. Cats come to Orlando. Happy ending. Another intense game. Arizona 84, UCF 77.
Is it appropriate to say that we love the happy endings? That is for sure. It is basketball night in Arizona. The Wildcats, the number one team in the country, getting set to welcome in the UC Bearcats, the Cincinnati Bearcats, in town for a college basketball game tonight. It'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off at McHale Center, and we've got you for the next 3 hours until 6:30. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. My name is David Kelly. Glad to be with you on this Wednesday evening, the third consecutive Wednesday evening that the Wildcats will play some college basketball here at home. 3 straight Saturdays on the road, 3 straight Wednesdays at home. That structure will change after this weekend, as the Wildcats will play their first Saturday home game coming up this coming Saturday, a noon affair against West Virginia, before heading back out onto the road on a Monday, big Monday, in Provo, Utah, against a ranked BYU opponent. But first up, the Cincinnati Bearcats, the return of Kerr Kriisa. Will tell you exactly what the injured guard's status is for tonight's ball game. All that and more is straight ahead. Let's let you know what we've got coming up for you over the course of the next 3 hours of our program.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, we will review first and foremost the game on Saturday, a win on the road at Central Florida. We'll take our first look at the Cincinnati Bearcats. Your first look at the game is brought to you by Window Depot. A view from courtside. We've got a new analyst on the sideline on the Spanish radio side of things. And get this, he didn't play basketball here. He played football here at the University of Arizona. Jose Romero will join us to talk about his new role and how a football guy ends up in a basketball chair on the court side. Spotlight on a Cat. Brian Jeffries caught up with the big man, Toby Awaka. We'll hear from Toby on the importance of rebounding to this team and to a basketball game, something the Arizona Wildcats do extremely well. And we're back to DK sort of with TL. Not really. We had one opportunity to talk to the head coach last week. Nothing, obviously, so far this week, or will be this week. So we'll go back in kind of to the vault and, come up with something that may be a question I would have asked the head coach had I been in front of him this week. DK with TL. We'll check your scoreboard, brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers. Scouting report. We're going to speak with Scott Springer. He writes the beat For the Cincinnati Enquirer, we'll get the update on the Bearcats. A lot of new faces in that lineup as well. And your scouting report, as always, is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Who will be that Bearcat that gets underneath the Wildcat skin tonight? Essential Pest Control brings you your pest of the game. And can we beat the book tonight over at the Casino del Sol? U of A 13.5-point favorite this evening at home. Your over-under is 151.5. Wildcats coming in off a victory Saturday on the road, 84-77 against Central Florida, a team that had entered with a record of 14-2, and again fought hard, but just not hard enough to beat the best team in the country. Tommy Lloyd, though, gave a lot of credit to what he saw from the Knights as well as their atmosphere at the Addition Financial Arena.
First off, credit goes to UCF, the university, and to, Coach Dawkins. I mean, that was an amazing environment. It's a big-time college basketball environment. And, now UCF's, building their program and establishing their traditions and their legacy. But, that was up there with any of them. So, a credit to you guys. And it was a joy to compete in that environment. So just thankful for the opportunity.
And a credit to Themis Falk. I mean, the point guard. For folks, I should say, the point guard for UCF. He was absolutely fabulous in that ball game on Saturday for the Knights as they tried to upset the number one team in the country. Tommy Lloyd equally impressed with what he saw from that young man.
Well, he's a heck of a player, and he's got good speed and he's got good swag and good confidence, and we kind of had him pegged as a little bit more of a passer because he's had 12 assists each of the last two games, and and we knew he could score a little bit, and we told our guys he's also a double-figure scorer, but he hit some pretty tough shots, and so I think maybe in the second half we just got fortunate some of those shots rolled off, and I don't know, maybe get a little bit tired, but to him to drop a 30 piece on us, that says to me he's a heck of a player.
Indeed, he is. And again, he's still a guy that can dish it out as well. Didn't get to double digits in assists in that ball game, but did still dish out 8, which was most of anybody on the floor in that contest. Guys, we've seen a lot of guards as I welcome in my crew tonight. We've got the captain, Kelvin Ifan. We've got J.W. Madden as well. Fellas, we'll start with you, Kelvin. We've seen some impressive guards so far. Where would you put Themis folks on that list of guards that we've seen so far this season?
I mean, honestly, as a point guard with the ability to score, he has to be one or two. I mean, because of, to me, the way he did it so efficiently, knocking down tough shots. He's the type of guy that I always talk about in the tournament, when you get to the NCAA tournament, that worries me when we have such a tall team with our shortest guard being possibly like 6'3". And when you have to deal with those 6', 6'1" guys that could stop on the dime, that can create their own shot outside of the offense, they get real tough, and they can put their team, in games that they shouldn't be in. So, he's one of the top guards because he was able to do it efficient and still run the offense and get guys shots.
Yeah, I don't know how to rank him on a list of guards Arizona's team, but I will tell you this. When you see a team come in that sees the number one ranked Arizona Wildcats as an opportunity to define their season, the guys who have no fear are going to step up and take the shots. And he took 18 shots in that game. You know how many shots he took versus Iowa State the next game? 8. Like, those are those games where those guards, Kelvin, are going to get busy because, again, 6'1" quick guys who are pass happy guys who like to set their teammates up are the worst nightmare covers in college basketball, because when you have confidence, you can get your own shot, get to your own spot, and also create easy shots for your opponents. When you get to a slugfest like we saw the other day, those are the guys that you got to worry about, because every single time down the court in a close game, how many times have we seen Jaden Bradley do that to close games late? So guards with confidence and experience like folks are going to be the ones you have to worry about mostly when you see Arizona coming in undefeated, number one in the country. Kelvin, there's guys out there trying to make a name for themselves in games like that.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the way they make their name, to be able to make some more money across seas, as we always talk about.
Unfortunately, UCF had to be the sacrificial lamb to an Iowa State team.
We knew
that had lost back-to-back games to Kansas and Cincinnati.
We knew that was going to happen. I mean, come on, angry Cyclones. Number 2 in the country lose 2 straight games, and that we mentioned that in the last game in the post game is that they had to see 3 consecutive tough opponents, and Iowa State was a really, really rough out, losing that one by 30.
Yeah, 30-point win for the Cyclones, 87-57 last night on your schedule. And, of course, on our side in that ball game the other day, it was another fabulous performance by Braden Burries, the freshman guard for your Arizona Wildcats. He had 18 points, 8 of 14, efficient shooting the basketball, just continues to play with a nice flow. And after the ball game, the guys from ESPN caught up with Braden Burries and first asked him about what he's learning from his senior point guard, Jaden Bradley, who scored 23 points to lead the Wildcats in that win at UCF.
He's been there, done that, so he has a lot of knowledge. So he's just been teaching me, like, the pace, when and when not to be aggressive. So, I'm just learning from him every day.
Life in the Big 12 isn't easy, especially when you go on the road.
Yeah.
What was it like competing in this environment against that UCF team?
Nah, it was great. It was fun. My teammates had my back. I had their back. Coaches had a great game plan. And the fans was great. We had a lot of Arizona fans, even though we were on the East Coast. So it was fun.
Braden Burries, 18 points. He had a couple of threes in that game, grabbed a rebound, had an assist, 1 turnover, and just continues to be one of the most talented freshmen that you're going to find in the entire country. Tommy Lloyd just completely impressed each game with what this young man is bringing to the table.
Yeah, I mean, he's a basketball junkie from a basketball family, and some kids just have it. They have that poise and that presence, and he has it. I'll give Braden a lot of credit. I mean, there was obviously high expectations for how he was going to play this year for us, and he may have started out a little bit slow, but he's really hung with it, and he's just such a steady person that you knew that it would come through in the end. And I even told one of our assistants today, I had a sneaky suspicion that he was going to play pretty good today. So he did a great job, and hit a couple of timely shots in the second half. That 3, kind of on that broken sideline inbounds play was huge, and kind of, I felt like kind of gave us enough cushion to kind of ride out the craziness of the last couple minutes.
And then what else can you say about the guy who seems to be the calmest in all of that craziness of the final few minutes of some of these games? And that is Jaden Bradley, who the Saturday before last, scored 17 points, all 17 of his points in the second half of the game. And all he did to follow that up one Saturday later was to score 21 of his 23 points after the intermission. Jaden Bradley, just the guy that knows what it takes to win for his team at the end of the ball game, says Tommy Lloyd.
Bradley, some of those are at the end. Bradley's, he's world class, game finisher, for us. And, get the ball, you want to get the ball to him at the end of the game in those situations so he can get fouled because you trust him at the free throw line. And you trust his decision making when the ball's in his hands. So, but yeah, getting to the free throw line is a lot of things. It could be how strong you drive, or do you get knocked off your line, or are you able to hold your line? And if you hold your line, obviously it looks, refs will respect that and call fouls on it. So, it's not just the inside game. There's a lot of things that go into the foul pressure. And, being a team that goes to the offensive glass, you can get a lot of fouls, getting blocked out, when teams aren't used to maybe blocking out as often, So there's lots of ways to do it. And, yeah, for sure. We love free throws. They're my favorite shots in the game. Layups, too. I like layups, too.
Yeah, layups and free throws. We'll take a lot of those for sure. The Wildcats have made 355 free throws this season. That is 30 more makes than their opponents have attempted this season. Opponents have attempted just 325 free throws. So that has been a huge, and it's interesting, guys, because I've been hearing just a lot of things. We're at that part of the season where people are starting to ask who's the best team in the country, Why is this team the best team in the country? And obviously, unanimous number one for the first time ever, the Arizona Wildcats in both polls got all the votes in the AP poll, got all the votes in the coaches poll. But the one consistent thing I've been hearing from the national pundits, and we talked about this on our show, is the concern about when this team has to get into a game where they're going to have to make 3-point shots. They've been able to overcome that a lot this year because they shoot so many free throws.
Those national pundits are talking about a game that Arizona doesn't play.
Yeah.
Like, that's like 95% of the teams across the country are make or miss teams. If you make 40% of your threes, you win. If you make 25% of your threes, you lose. Because on volume, 25 to 35 threes a game, that's the modern game of college basketball. Why are they shooting more? Why are they made more free throws than their opponents attempted? Because Arizona is forcing the ball right at the rim, whether it's by drives or with the bigs like Koa and obviously Mo and Tobe. So their entire style is designed to get free throws. It's designed to put pressure on the rim. Yes, there may be a game where a team plays a matchup 2-3 zone. Notorious for difficulty driving, notorious for difficulty feeding the post, where there might have to make some threes. But Kelvin Ifon, do you envision this style of play that Arizona's playing this year ever, quote-unquote, needing to make threes outside of some odd, exceptional moment like that?
No, man, and even in that situation, man, people give the 2-3 defense too much credit a lot of times, man. You can still get to your post game if you move the ball and hit the high low, or even if you hit your guy on the box. Now they might double them and you pass back out for some catch and shoot opportunities from three, or even from playing off the closeout and drive and get the 15-foot pull up, which our guys are great at, but. This is the style of this team. I mean, there's not a bunch of 3-point shooters on the team. I mean, in the starting lineup, Brandon Berries is a guy that can knock down threes. Yvonne is a guy that can knock down threes. But both of those guys are going to take what's available. And the biggest thing with this team is offensive rebounding. And you can't offensive rebound if you chunk up a bunch of threes. There's no reason to have all these big guys if that's the style you're going to play.
And the Wildcats, again, with a win over UCF. How about this? They have now beaten back-to-back coaches that played and starred at Duke University, having won last Wednesday here at home against Bobby Hurley, a guard from Duke, and having won Saturday against Johnny Dawkins, a guard from Duke. We heard Tommy Lloyd speak glowingly of Bobby Hurley and the fact that he likes Bobby a lot. No question that he is equally impressed with Johnny Dawkins, having faced him now 2 consecutive years in a row.
Coach Dawkins is a legend. I mean, come on. I grew up watching this guy. I mean, he was just a unbelievable smooth lefty, you know, one of the first great college guards that I remember, you know, watching. And he's just a classy guy. He's just a classy guy, and he's doing a great job with the program. And you know, it's not easy for anybody right now. And, you know, obviously with the turnover they've had on their roster, he did a great job, you know, building a team. It looks like it has cohesion. I know it has talent. You know, I know it has experience. And, yeah, I'm just really impressed. And to me, you know, I mean, it's early for all of us. So, you know, there's no, I don't need to be predict the future, but that certainly feels and looks like a good NCAA tournament team to me.
Well, that remains to be seen how things play out for UCF as their season goes along. Now, back-to-back losses after getting off to that tremendous start that included them winning 11 consecutive ball games.
And, you know, losing on the road to a top 10 net ranking team like both Iowa State and Arizona are, that's not going to knock you down at all. I mean, they were 35 when they came into the Arizona game. Let's see. Where is UCF now? They're 38th. So they fell 3 spots after back-to-back losses. They're still firmly in right now if the committee met today.
Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, getting you set for the Wildcats and the Bearcats at McHale Center. Tip-off coming up at 7 o'clock. If you're headed to the game, we want to hear from you, 520-848-1290. If you're not headed to the game, we still want to hear from you. You can call us or text us at that number, 520-848-1290. Share your thoughts on Arizona basketball. You can also do so on any of our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter. We're streaming this show on YouTube and Twitch, so you can also watch the program at those locations. Coming up, we'll take our first look at UC, I should say, and U of A. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks, Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Family outgrowing your car? Hughes Federal Credit Union can help you get the car you want and the rate you need. Hughes is one of the only financial institutions in the country that doesn't switch loan rates based on a qualified buyer's credit score. That means you get our one-rate guarantee regardless of your credit score. We promise. When it's time for your next new or used car, Hughes is here to take you further. Check out our low rates on hughesfcu.org/auto and apply today. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
We are the rush, the pulse, the thrill you didn't see coming. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol, where Tucson's best just got better. Join Club Soul today and get $20 free play. That's right, your first play is on us. Play, earn, and unlock exclusive rewards that take your experience to the next level. More thrills, more perks, more of what makes Casino del Sol unforgettable. We are Club Soul, only at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704 or jtautoaz.com.
Hi, I'm Jordan Benjamin with Done Right Services. When your home or business needs HVAC, plumbing services, or electrical work, trust a true local Tucson company, Done Right Services. We pride ourselves on delivering top-notch service, fair pricing, and expert craftsmanship. The job isn't finished unless it's done right. Weekend emergency? No problem. Just give us a call. We're here when you need us. You deserve the best, and Done Right Services delivers. Call us today for a free estimate at 520-369-3966.
Now that's what I call savings. If you're looking for a real truck, get up to $7,500 off a new 2026 Chevy Silverado, plus up to $2,500 off a 2026 Chevy Equinox, and $8,500 off the Equinox EV. It's all happening now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Truck tough deals, real savings. Call us at 747-8000 or see us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall or on the web at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
gets into the paint. Ball knocked away, stolen. Burry's on the run for the Wildcats. Burry's driving coast to coast. Lay it up. No, there's Pete to tap it in.
Excellent job. Back-to-back putbacks for Pete. Arizona now starting to get the transition game going.
It's time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
Oh, cool. Pete hoping to stay out of that foul trouble he got into in the last game on the road and get into more of a flow. Last week, a week ago tonight, he posted his first 2010 game of his college career, scoring 24 points and grabbing 10 rebounds in the Wildcats win over rival Arizona State. Just 4 points, though, at UCF due to that foul trouble. He still, though, leads the U of A in scoring in Big 12 games and overall in Big 12, scoring at a clip of 16 points per ball game. Cincinnati coming in here off what might be the biggest win they've had in forever and definitely the biggest win in the Wes Miller era of Bearcat basketball.
Kept alive on the offensive glass. Jizzle James knocks down the three.
There's the welcome sight for the Bearcats. Anything they get from behind the three-point line is obviously a bonus. Cincinnati, there was a mix-up in communication. They're going to have to fix that.
Celestine knocks down the three for Cincinnati, and they take the lead. Celestine, second in a row.
Wow, that's confidence. That's confidence. You got the fast break. You got numbers. Maybe you go for a layup or a dunk. No.
And Celestine cannot be stopped.
Celestine has come off the bench, and he has given them a major spark.
7 on Iowa State. The big fella, Mustafa Chom, knocks down the three.
And Chom knocks down the three and then gives the ice water in my veins sign.
Harris to the cup.
Harris getting shifty, changing gears in the lane, finishing with the inside hand. And I tell you what,
fans will storm the court as the Bearcats knock off number 2 Iowa State. Their first win against a top 2 team in this building since 1967. And the signature victory of Wes Miller's tenure with Cincinnati.
That was back when, of course, 1967. That was right before I was born. That was back when Cincinnati was really good. I mean, really good in basketball. If I'm not mistaken, just off the top of my head, I think they won back-to-back national championships in the late 1960s. So that was probably during one of those two runs.
Big O, right?
Team. Yeah, absolutely. The Big O, Oscar Robertson, during those times. Day Thomas, 19 points in that game. Jalen Celestine, 4 3-pointers in the contest. He finished with 12 off the bench. You might remember him from Baylor last season, and you heard the score, 79-70 over number 2 Iowa State.
It's not just Baylor. He played 3 years at Cal, and we saw him at Cal, and then we saw him at Baylor, and now we're seeing him at Cincinnati. I'm curious. I was trying to rack my brain and think of individual players that Arizona had played versus with as many as 3 or 4 teams. Because we've seen the transfer portal, we've seen a lot of guys, DK, who play at 4 schools, but not 4 schools that are on Arizona's schedule.
Yeah.
Celestine, this will be the 3rd uniform that he's played versus Arizona with.
Wes Miller on his team's resilience this year, and in particularly in that win Saturday against the Cyclones.
Yeah, this group's been really resilient, and I thought they showed a ton of resilience. You know, Day and I were talking before we walked in about Buck's missed dunk. You know, and he'd like to. I just threw him out on the bus, but. What a defensive play to get that play, and then what a defensive play because he sprinted back and got the block. And, certainly we'll talk about taking that dang 2 points, in film tomorrow. But we were crazy resilient. I mean, Momcilovic hits, that was pretty impressive, some of the threes that he hit. Some of them we made a couple defensive errors. Some of them he just made tough shots. But we didn't put our heads down. We didn't worry about anything. We just tried to get the next stop. And so, again, this group's been building a resilient mentality and approach, and it served us well when they made a run late tonight.
I mean, this is a win that they really needed because it's been kind of tough times of late for Wes Miller. He's been booed needed during some games at home, and so for them to get this win in front of their home crowd was absolutely needed for this club and for the mentality of these kids. Dede Thomas and Sincere Harris talking after the game about how well Cincinnati took care of the basketball in this contest.
We know they was pretty aggressive, and on defense, that's what they really do. We just know we had to take care of the ball. Can't be casual with the ball. We just had to be strong with it, make the right passes and easy passes. So.
I think that we prepare for these moments. I think a couple games we showed 10-point lead, and we was big emphasis on taking care of the ball, and we do a lot of stuff in practice with 5 minutes left in the game, and value possessions one by one, and keep just chipping at it.
Yeah, just 8 turnovers in that game for the Cincinnati Bearcats to take down the number 2 team in the country. And one of those guys who really did an excellent job was their returning guard, Jizzle James. We talked about him last year, the son of longtime NFL star Edgerrin James, who they didn't necessarily think was going to be playing for them. He had left the team for a number of months towards the end of the summer and into the beginning of the school year, but he's been back now for 8 games, much needed, averaging 11 points per ball game, is Jizzle James, who is now a junior out of Orlando, Florida. He had just 1 turnover playing 30 minutes in that game on Saturday.
He was terrific. And Keegan, it's an excellent question because when I was walking out of the locker room to go to radio, I stopped him and talked about that. We started a lot of that's an elite defense, one of the great defenses, not just this year, but in college basketball over, recent memory. We started a lot of our possessions by having him bring the ball up the court against a great on-the-ball defender. I can't say his name correctly, Torre. And then we'd get into a set, and we'd make him dribble through 2 different pick-and-roll actions, and then we'd cut just to get our offense started. We did that probably 10, 14 times. So think about all the pressure he had to handle just to get our offense started. I thought he did it masterfully. I thought it was as good of a floor game as I've ever seen him play. Aside from the turnover there on the right sideline late, he handled the pressure. He got us installed into offense, and then everybody was able to make plays because of that. Now, the other 4 off the ball did their job too. It's never about one player in basketball, but his ability to handle the ball versus their pressure was excellent. And then he made a couple really, really nice plays, especially the pull-up lave, the floater in transition on the baseline. He made some big closeout type plays with the ball.
All right, before we get into the return of Jizzle James, let's pause here for station identification. You're listening to Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, getting you set for the Wildcats and the Bearcats tonight. Big 12 basketball here on Basketball Night in Arizona. I'm David Kelly, joined by my guys. We've got the captain, Kelvin Efon. We've got J.W. Madden. Fellas, Jizzle James is back, a player that they maybe weren't sure was going to be around this year. Now, there can be positives and negatives to that. Obviously, this is a kid that's come back and given them a jolt, both at the offensive and defensive ends of the floor. But you play 10 games and roles are defined, and it's not necessarily always easy to blend back in a player with that type of ability, Calvin.
No, it's not. But we got 6-7 losses. So y'all better move over. Y'all better move over. If we were undefeated or we, were doing great, then, hey, you got to come off the bench. I don't know, but he came right back to 30 minutes a game because the coaches know who he is. He's been to Cincinnati the whole time. That's the only college that he's been to so far. And yeah, you have the little family things where you get into it sometimes, but he's back in the family and all is well now.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the player, right? So if James comes back into the program and he's a me, I need my shots, I need to do this, I'm trying to get here, I'm trying to get that, then he might not be embraced by those teammates who he almost left behind. But like Kelvin said, he came back in during the mid-season, December Greenwell tournament, and he got 20 minutes. He got up his 16 points, and he was off to the races. He's basically been playing 30 minutes ever since then. And back to that particular game, DK, I mean, if you want to look at the reason why Cincinnati was able to upset Iowa State, it's for two reasons. Number one, they out-rebounded them. That's not something that happens very often. Iowa State, great rebounding team. They out-rebounded them by a hefty margin, by 7, and only 8 turnovers. The margins become so much smaller in a league defined by its great defensive teams. Both those teams shot terribly in that game, 43%. So how do you win a game like that? You get the most possessions. You out-rebound, you get a few more offensive rebounds, and you don't turn the ball over and you turn the other team over 12 times. Those few extra possessions, they took 18 more shots than Iowa State did in that game. Both teams shot 53, 18 more shots for the Bearcats. That's why they won that game, taking care of the ball and playing good defense and rebounding.
Well, you mentioned, obviously, some of the things that you liked about what happened in that game for them. Let's hear from the head coach, Wes Miller, on what he thought were the key ingredients to taking down the number 2 team in the country.
Loose balls and rebounding tonight was something I was proud of collectively. I mean, obviously there's plays we should have gotten that one or this one, but I thought we were really quick to the ball tonight. There's a couple with data. Keyshawn Tillery had a couple great efforts to get to a loose ball. The possession you mentioned late to get the ball there in the corner is a huge stop. Again, they were making a run. So, no, I thought loose balls and offensive rebounding looked like Bearcat basketball tonight at times.
There you go. They're going to need much of that again tonight. Can they take off? Imagine it. You got me thinking. I'm sure this has probably happened. When's the last time? But I'd like to know. When's the last time a team beat number 2 and number 1 in successive games? How often has that happened in college basketball? It could happen tonight here in Tucson. We hope not, but it certainly could. That's our first look at Arizona and Cincinnati.
That's our first look at the game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindow.depot.com. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
And don't forget, Window Depot also sponsors our glass cleaner of the game. It is Arizona's top rebounding performance every night. Might it be the Wildcat with the most rebounds? Could it be the U of A star with the most impactful boards? We'll tell you the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game coming up tonight. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Gameday, the post-game show. Coming up next, we will get you a view from courtside. New Spanish radio analyst Jose Romero is going to join us. If that name sounds familiar, he didn't play basketball here. He played football. We'll get the background on Jose and how he ended up on the sideline chair analyzing basketball games. Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day comes back after this timeout on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care, a proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Hi, this is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management. As a boutique fiduciary investment firm, our clients have trusted us to guide them down their financial paths for decades. Whether you are an individual or family, business, foundation, or nonprofit, we are committed to your long-term goals and financial futures. We are proud supporters of the Tucson community and all that makes our city so special. Visit online at meridianwealthllc.com to learn more about Meridian today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Right Way is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 11,000 five-star Google reviews, you can trust Right Way to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Right Way today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary, call ahead's welcome, or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
The holidays are over, and right now is the best time to start your home renovation project. At the Window Depot, you get factory direct prices, no installers, no middleman, and serious savings. Windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, all in stock and ready to take home today. Perfect for DIYers and contractors who want to save thousands and get materials fast. New year, new projects at the lowest prices. Shop online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
What UCF does defensively here, looks like they're just going to give him the inbound. So Bradley will fire it in. Burries spots for a three out there, and it's good. Braden Burries buries Alexis of Tucson Charity three.
It's time now for us to take you down to the front row of the arena. A view from courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser serving Southern Arizona over 30 years.
All right, our view from courtside tonight comes from the gentleman who is going to be in the analyst chair for this game tonight on Arizona Wildcats Spanish radio. Now, here's an interesting twist to this. He did not play basketball here at the U of A. He played football here at the U of A. He was a long snapper back during the days when Arizona was winning the Pac-12 South title. In 2014, his name is Jose Romero. He joins us now. Jose, appreciate you taking some time to be on the show today. So first of all, how does a football guy end up calling basketball games?
Oh, man, it's been such a crazy story, even from the beginning, just graduating, being able to play at the university, and then, going and teaching, and then getting a job with the Cardinals. And the next thing you know, I get a phone call for Francisco Romero. And Jorge, who was our guy, he was trying to focus more on something else, and he was like, we have a spot. Do you want to come interview? And do you know basketball? And I was like, I've watched it before. Obviously, going to a university and being good at basketball, like we all know, that was something that I was definitely familiar with, but I'd never done it before. So it's been a crazy ride.
All right, so now let's back up because you dropped a whole lot of names there. I got to catch people up. You mentioned Francisco Romero, who's obviously a long-time Spanish broadcaster on games for the U of A, calls games for the Spanish radio for the Houston Astros, has called, I think, about 7 no-hitters in his career. You also dropped Jorge Leyva, who we've had on the show before, who was analyst and play-by-play announcer at times last season, also works with Arizona Sports Enterprises. He was one of the key people in setting up the deal with Casino del Sol to put their naming rights on the stadium this past year. So Jorge is kind of shifting back to focusing on what he's doing for ASC on the sales side. So you get a call from our guy Francisco. So like now is tonight your first night, or have you done this already?
No, this will be my 8th game now.
Okay, so you've done 8 games. Okay, all right. So you're an old pro. You're not even a freshman anymore, as we like to say. After 8 games, you're a sophomore.
That is right. Yeah, no, it's been great, and the leadership that we have with the Spanish radio, Luis Denojian has been amazing at coaching me and helping me, and Francisco as well. I'll give him calls every week just to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. Obviously, transitioning from football, doing analysts for football and changing it to basketball, completely different games for sure. But the pace of the game is just so much different. I think that's what took me the longest to get used to.
Jose Romero is joining us. It's your view from courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Arizona now for over 30 years. Now, you may have also missed it. Jose mentioned getting a job with the Cardinals. You are actually the Spanish radio analyst for the Arizona Cardinals games as well, correct?
Yeah, I was for 2 years. That is correct. During the 2022 and 2023 season, which was great. But, a lot of differences between, working for the Cardinals and working for U of A basketball. The wins feel really nice. I'm not going to lie to you.
There you go. So let's talk about your football career. Let's go back there. You played at Mountain Point, if I'm not mistaken, up in the Valley. Then you went to junior college here, which of course we don't have junior college football anymore. And then you got an opportunity to come play Division I at the U of A. What was it like for you to be a part of those Rich Rodriguez teams back during the 2013-14 seasons?
Well, I mean, for me, it was just a blessing, coming from Mexico and even getting a shot to walk on to University of Arizona. Coach Regal, Coach Richrod, they gave me a shot, and I'm forever grateful with the university and the coaching staff for allowing me to do so. And then you add on to the fact that besides being great leaders, just the school, how cohesive we are, the teammates that I had, and then, like you were talking about earlier, that 2014 team, getting that Pac-12 South title was insane. So just really good memories by winning and beating some good teams. We beat Oregon, who was number 2, with Marcus Mariota back then as well, which were crazy memories to have. And again, being a small kid, from Mexico and Cancun, and being able to live those live, it's just been a blessing.
So then what was your football background? I mean, when did you start playing? What made you, obviously growing up in Mexico and soccer, football is such a big deal. What made you start playing American football?
That was all my dad. My dad was a big-time football guy. He played at the University of Mexico in Mexico City.
Wow.
And, football is definitely a big sport in Mexico. But he was the one who basically was like, you're not playing soccer. You're going to play football like a man, just like me. And you are not even going to step field on a football, like a soccer field. I'm not letting you. And so that kind of started everything, which was a lot of pressure trying to live up to that expectation. But I think my dad, both my parents, had this mentality, and they could see the future and what was best for me and what I had potential in. And so eventually I bought into the idea, after listening to them for like 10 years. And I ended up, falling in love with the sport. And it was really hard. Not going to lie to you, culturally, soccer is the popular sport. Everybody wants to play it. Everybody wants to be a part of it. And for football, especially in Cancun, small city, which is best known for the beach, not so much sports. It was very hard to fight back, this trend of go play soccer, and everybody knows about soccer. And what are you doing playing football? But yeah, I think my parents' vision was the thing that I appreciate the most, because they saw something that I didn't, since a young age.
Jose Romero is our guest. He is the Spanish radio analyst for the Arizona basketball team. Now, did you analyze for football this year too?
I did not. No. That was Marco and Luis.
Yeah, you can't push out my guy Marco Rincon
now. No, not at all. For me, honestly, I'm just so happy to have the opportunity to do so. When I was with the Cardinals as well, putting aside the jokes of the wins, just being able to be part of a team like that and in that situation, again, coming from such a small background with me and with the guidance of, Luis Hernandez and Rolando Cantu and all the people that were part of that back when I was there. It's just so amazing to see how different teams operate and being able to learn from different people. I think that's what's helped me the most is that guidance that I've had from all those people.
We're chatting with Jose Romero. It is your view from courtside. It's brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Arizona now for over 30 years. I got to ask you this, Jose, because I always ask this from the kids from Las Vegas. What's it like growing up in Las Vegas? What's it like growing up in Cancun?
Oh, man. Well, one thing is for sure, I was never bored, right? Never bored. There's always something going on. Spring break is crazy. Anytime there was a break, and seeing everybody come down, I think that's what mostly got me interested in, like, American culture, to be honest. Being able to be there and see it and live it and see people coming down. I was always very curious about what the American culture was going to be like. And then when I had that chance to move here and go to Mountain Point, I took that. I was very nervous, obviously, leaving my family behind and my culture and my friends. But I just knew there was something interesting about this country that I needed to check out. And then now looking back, best decision of my entire life. But yeah, definitely the beach, the parties, the downtown, definitely very different, right? Especially when you're young, because I can't even go out or do anything, right? But it was still very interesting to live around that for sure.
So now, wait, you left your family to come to the United States? How did that work?
Yes. So my mom and dad both stayed back, because of work in Cancun. And I actually ended up living with my mom's best friend, Georgia, and husband Rob here in Phoenix. They took me in and they became like my legal guardians, and I started going to school thanks to them. So they're like my second parents, I mean, they've been so supportive and so loving, and I can't thank them enough either.
We're chatting with Jose Romero, Spanish language analyst, Arizona basketball. Okay, so let's get into this year's team. What are your top takeaways? What do you like about this club? What do you think are some of the important things that have allowed this team to become a unanimous number one team in the country?
I think it's kind of interesting because we talk about how, I did football for the longest time and I did analyzing for football, and then here comes basketball, and I'm watching football players play basketball, essentially. Their size, how big they are, how strong they are. And I think that's my biggest takeaway with this team is they're so big, they're so strong, and they're causing issues because they're wearing teams down. Usually you see a lot of speedsters, and those type of plays get you tired because you're running around back and forth. But this team from Arizona, we're talking, your average starting size is like 6'6", 6'7", and they're just rebounding the ball and getting in your face and pushing you around. And they're 250 pounds, 260 pounds of pure muscle. You can tell, Coach Tommy Lloyd really focused on the weight room for sure with these guys, because it's really amazing to see how much stronger they are every single time we step on the court.
Now, did you play any basketball in high school?
No. Not a chance. No. Yeah, no. Soccer, yes. Football, yes. But yeah, no. Basketball, there is no shot. I am terrible. I mean, I'll play some defense and I'll get in your face and put my hands up, right? Because I'm not a small guy, but yeah, there's no way.
So now, obviously, you still live in the Phoenix area. So in terms of Koa Pete coming out of high school there, what was some of the things you heard about him as a player? And did you get a chance to see him play while he was in high school?
Yes. So I actually teach at Desert Vista High School.
Oh, wow.
And, I come to the games a lot. And we actually have a player that's with the Suns right now, Oso, who came from our high school.
Yeah.
And, so we actually got to see Koa Pete a bunch of times when we played Perry during the season. And you could tell this kid was just special. And I was hoping, obviously, every single time that you have an opportunity to be around high school athletes, I'm wearing my gear. I'm wearing my University of Arizona gear. I'm telling them how great of a university it is. I'm trying to tell everybody that, that has that special talents to come to the university, because I know how much of a good time they're going to have and how special everything is for a university. So I remember seeing Koa Pete and hoping that he would, get obviously recruited and then eventually, choose the University of Arizona. But you can tell there's a big difference between his senior year and those months that he took off before he started, his freshman year here. Like the weight and the muscle mass is just completely different.
We're chatting with Jose Romero. He is the Spanish radio analyst on the Spanish broadcast, radio broadcast for the University of Arizona basketball team. Now, you guys still on Urbana 92.5? Is that where the game's?
That is correct.
Yep,
yes, sir.
Urbana 92.5 FM or UrbanaTucson.com is where you can find those games. Luis De Oain and Jose Romero will be calling those games throughout the remainder of the season. I got to flip back to football, though. Jose, who was your favorite teammate when you played at the University of Arizona?
Oh, man, that is a hard question. You're putting me on the spot here with my old teammates. I got really along with Gerard De Beer. He was our tackle.
Yes, my guy.
Yes, he's my main guy. I see him all the time, every time I come to Tucson. Just such a great person. I think, that being a, out-of-the-country player, I think that helped us, connect in ways that I guess maybe other kids couldn't connect, leaving our families and, and our language and playing a sport that is not normal for us to do. But he was such a great guy. He still is. And, I still keep in contact with him. But I bump heads with Scooby Wright all the time in the weight room. He'd be like, well, what are you doing? He's trying to push me to be better. So he was really cool. Trey Griffey, I still see, he works for the Arizona Cardinals. So I got to work with him for a couple of years as well. Anu Solomon, I used to talk to him on the sidelines on a daily basis too. Playing football since such a young age and having a head coach as my dad, I was breaking down plays and watching football 24/7 with him, which I think is what has helped me a lot with, the analyst jobs that I've had in the past.
So where do you want to take this? You want to try to take this broadcasting thing somewhere deep, or how's your future going to play out in this game?
Growing up and playing football, I was happy. My dream was to play college football. I did it. I tried the NFL for a little bit, have a couple calls and a couple of workouts. Nothing worked out. But my biggest thing was I wanted to become a teacher. I wanted to go back, to the high school kids and help them out and guide them and kind of help them when the biggest time in need, I feel like, is those teenage years, right? So I really wanted to do that and coach high school football. When Rolando, let me know and called me about the situation with the Cardinals back in 2022, it wasn't something that was planned, and I didn't really know what to say except for, of course, I'm going to try and do it. And now it's become such a passion of mine. At first I just thought it was going to be like a blessing and an opportunity, but it's really become my passion, whether it's basketball or if I end up doing soccer or football, doing English, doing it in Spanish, doing both. I think this is one of those things where I've really fallen in love with it, and I definitely am going to try to continue to pursue it as a career.
There you go. We'll get a chance to flip on 92.5 tonight and check out Luis and Jose as they've got the call. Arizona, #1 team in the country against Cincinnati. Jose, congratulations on this opportunity. We look forward to chatting with you again in the future.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for having me. God bless and bear down.
There we go. Bear down, go Cats. Jose Romero, Spanish language analyst, Arizona basketball, 92.5, UrbanaTucson.com. That is your view from courtside.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Southern Arizona for over 30 years. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Coach, Tommy Lloyd here. Right Way has important news.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's free furnace season at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we're offering up to 60 months no interest financing, manufacturer and energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
If it's worth doing, Do it the right way.
If you could rewind 10 years, what would you do differently? Buy Apple stock at $20? Skip the Ghost Pepper Challenge? Maybe even rethink the skinny jeans. Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Some regrets are harmless, termite damage isn't. You can't go back in time, but you can keep termites from eating your future. Call Blue Sky Pest Control today for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Tohono Nation. Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
You know it, your neighbors know it, and let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be, but thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials, the right service, the right product, the right price.
Hi guys, I'm back. What's new?
Tucson Appliance Scratch and Dent Studio.
All the Scratch and Dent merchandise has its own new studio.
There were so many Scratch and Dent discounted items. Now they have a place of their own.
I love it. A whole Scratch and Dent studio right next to Tucson Appliance. They don't look like Scratch and Dent,
but it shows in the low prices.
Tucson Appliance Scratch and Dent Studio. Proud local supporters of the Southern Arizona Heartball. Only at Tucson Appliance, where you are a priority.
Now that's what I call savings. Looking for strength and value? Get $2,000 off a new 2025 Chevy Trailblazer, $3,000 off a 2025 Chevy Traverse, and up to $4,500 off a 2025 Chevy Colorado. That's real muscle, real savings. Right now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Call us at 747-8000, see us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall, or on the web at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet. Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down, into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a three out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our window depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip-off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Kelly's spin move there on Johnson. Off to Pete, back to Del Orso. Fires a three, rims out no good. Rebound to Waka, and he slams it home.
Tobey Awaka, the #1 offensive rebounder in the nation, goes up and grabs another one with a one-handed hammer.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, hour number 2 of our 3-hour pregame show, getting you set for Arizona and Cincinnati tonight at McHale Center. If you're headed down to the ball game, want to hear from you, 520-848-1290. Hour number 2, we will have our spotlight. We're going to shine a spotlight on one of your cats, brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. We'll shine that spotlight on Toby Owaka, who chatted with the voice of the Wildcats, Brian Jeffries. DK, sort of with TL. We'll hear from the head coach on one of the many new rules that is happening around college basketball, the 15-day portal window. What does Tommy Lloyd think about that? Or does he even think about that at all? I'm sure you know the answer to that question. We'll check your scoreboard. Goldberg and Osborne, a lot of games were on tap last night in the Big 12 Conference. We already told you that that Iowa State, the team that lost to Cincinnati over the weekend, won by 30 points over Central Florida. We'll update you on everything else that happened around college basketball last night and what's happening this evening. We'll get you your scouting report brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Scott Springer is the beat writer for the Cincinnati Enquirer covering the Bearcats. We'll get Scott's thoughts on everything happening around Bearcat basketball. Your Beat the Book opportunity out at the Casino del Sol and Sol Sports. Arizona is a 13.5-point favorite if you're heading out to Sol Sports to put something down on tonight's game. You're over under 151.5. We'll see who has an opportunity to do that tonight. And your keys to the game will give you what we think the Wildcats need to do to get the victory at home here tonight. As always, brought to you by Royal Automotive and your starting lineups presented by Rocking K.
Real quick, DK, I do have an answer to one of your earlier questions.
Yes.
It's hard to get an extensive record history of teams defeating number 1 and number 2 teams in back-to-back games.
Yes.
But it has happened because I have found one instance that took place in 1989 in which the Kansas Jayhawks defeated number 2 Louisiana State. That would have been Shaquille O'Neal, right?
Right.
And or actually might have been right before that with Chris. And then they beat number 1 ranked UNLV. So they beat LSU and UNLV both in the preseason NIT in back-to-back games.
That's pretty cool there. I knew it probably happened at some point along the ways there. But I would not have thought that. But yeah, I guess Kansas, that kind of maybe.
I found this from a post from 10 years ago where Missouri had beaten the number 2 team and had the number 1 team on the schedule. And somebody asked, has this ever happened before? So at the time, they said this hasn't happened since 89. It could have happened again in the last 10 years. I haven't been able to find it. But it does definitely happen at least once.
Well, I'm sure there are some people out there smarter than all the three of us. If you've known this to happen, a team to beat number 2 and number 1 or number 1 and number 2 in successive games, we'd love to hear from you today as well at 520-848-1290. All right, let's shine a spotlight on one of your cats.
Our pregame show Spotlight on a Cat is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Toby Owaka is having a tremendous senior season for your Arizona Wildcats. 10 points, 9 rebounds against Central Florida, UCF, whatever. We don't have to play them again this year. Well, maybe in the tournament. They can get mad at me then. Averaging 14 points and 9 rebounds in Big 12 play is Toby Owaka. So his numbers looking really good there. He has 3 double-doubles this season. Brian Jeffries, the voice of your Arizona Wildcats, caught up with Toby Owaka.
All right, a couple minutes with Toby Owaka. Do you and does the team still learn something from every game, win or lose, as the season goes on?
Yeah, for sure. I think you have to. I think winning sometimes can be sort of a masker for underlying problems. So I think our coaching staff does a great job of keeping us accountable. Holding us to a high standard, and even with the success that we've had, just keying in on the details and showing us ways that we can improve.
Wildcats have been an outstanding rebounding team so far this year. Do you look at stats like that of the opposition when you get prepared to play them, the rebounding in particular?
I don't think stats are totally huge thing of what we sort of look at going into a game, but obviously there are some key markers of what stand out, and we know that rebounding helps sort of sway a game in a team's favor. When you win the rebounding battle, usually you win the game.
Tommy always talks about early energy. How do you get that going into a game?
I think it's just taking every game like it's 0-0. Like your record is 0-0. Not looking at any past success or any past failure for that matter, and just just taking each game with just as they come. Not thinking too highly or too low. of your opponent, and just honing on what you've been practicing and what your identity, as a core team is.
All right. So a young fan wanted to know, Tobe, if you were a plant, what plant would you be?
That's a good question. I would have to go with a Venus flytrap. I just think they're super cool, and just the way that they operate. So yeah, that's a plant that I've sort of been interested in since I was a kid. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Good answer. Keep it up.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's today's Spotlight on a Cat, brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
How about that? Toby Awaka, the Venus flytrap. I think that fits because, the Venus flytrap likes to catch things, catch bugs, catch other insects. You put your finger in there, it might close on your finger. The Venus flytrap. And that's exactly what Toby Awaka does with the basketball. He is absolutely the Venus flytrap when it comes to rebounding the basketball. So that I like that comparison.
The only difference is, I remember I got my first Venus flytrap when I was like 6 or 7. I
You
was just
actually
fascinated.
had one.
Yeah. I had one. It did not last very long. They're hard to keep alive, believe it or not. Very fragile. But the funny thing is that's like an ambush predator. It just sits in one place, right? Toby Awaka will get every rebound that comes to his area, but Kelvin, the most amazing thing about Tobe this season is his pursuit of the basketball and going out of his area to get boards basically anywhere on the court. But I love that. I love the comparison. It's definitely a very cool thing, makes you think.
Did you ever have a Venus flytrap, Kelvin?
You know what's funny? I did, and I had one of the little small ones, man, and it like J Dub said, they fragile, man. It didn't last long.
Not a fun thing. It's not like having a pet. Like you can't. It's like too hard to keep up with.
It's just so weird, man. Plants that eat animals, right?
Yeah.
Like basically is what that is. So it's just weird.
Toby Awaka ranks 6th in the country in offensive rebounds, 4 per ball game, 21st overall in rebounds, period, averaging close to 10. Leads the country in offensive rebound percentage, 24%, according to Ken Palm for Toby Awaka. Tommy Lloyd on the development of this big man since he arrived on campus the fall before last.
I was talking to, Coach Ken about it today, and just how much better he's gotten is really impressive. And, that's what you get when you have a high character, intelligent, talented player. You give him a little bit of time and kind of let him start feeling the effects of the compound return on his investment and his development. And we're starting to see that. So, it's great to have a lot of guys you can count on.
Well, and when you talk about a lot of guys, you're talking about his bigs. Toby Awaka averaging 11 points, 10 rebounds. So that's essentially a double-double right there, 9.8 if you're going officially by what he's averaging. I like to round up. So 11 points, 10 rebounds, that's a double-double. Mo Krivas, 11 points, 8 rebounds. Koa Pete, 15 points. His number's now up to 6 rebounds. Koa's got 4 double-doubles. Motias has 4 double-doubles. We just told you Toby has 3 double-doubles, so he's got to get one tonight to get even with those guys if they don't get one. But it's a nice trio to have for sure. Tommy Lloyd just enjoying what all 3 of those guys are giving his club.
Well, for sure. We always feel like most days we're going to have an advantage, playing through our bigs inside, and we're always going to test it. It's part of our, part of our DNA and part of our formula and how we play. And I love big guys, and I always will. And the more the merrier. I'd play 3 or 4 of them at a time if I could. Just you need a few guys to dribble and move the ball. But I love having those big fellas out there.
That's interesting. Because you would think if you asked 10 coaches, they would say, "I'd love to have guards. I want the best guards out there." But Tommy's the antithesis of that. He likes his bigs. Not to say he doesn't like to have, like he said, I like to, got to have a few guards too. But he is really that coach that likes his bigs. Why do you think that works so well for him?
Well, rebounding. The rebounding correlates to winning. And so if you got big guys that can crash the boards, that gives you a great opportunity to win. And then the easy scores around the basket, the dunks, the hook shots. As I always say, the team that get the most twos win. And I always say I love guard play. but I love bigs too. If I had bigs that can handle the ball and pass and get us into good situations, but a lot of times you end up having to have, a JB, on the team, and a Brandon Berry's on your team to help get those guys the ball where they need it.
Yeah, I don't think it's either or. Like, you don't choose, I want to have good big men, but no guards. Like, it's both. Like, you, of course, want a lot of backcourt skill on your team, but look no further than Spokane's history, right? Remember a guy named Ronnie Turioff? That was maybe the guy who started it off in the early 2000s. He played a lot of years in the NBA. Domantas Sabonis, Kelly Olynyk. How about Chet Holmgren? I mean, he did not play under Coach Lloyd, but Coach Lloyd recruited him and left the year that he was a freshman. Drew Timme was a guy up there. So all Mark Few's teams have always played inside out. There's two ways to get an open 3, DK. You have a quick, shifty guard like Jaden Bradley, who can get busy and get into the lane and get his own if he needs to. Defense collapses. You kick to Anthony Del Urso, who's in the corner for an open 3. Karchenkov, a lot of open 3s in the corner like that. Or you have guys like Moteas Krivas or Tobe Awaka more recently this year, and Koa Pete certainly capable as well, commanding so much extra defensive attention on the block or at the elbow that you have to collapse the defense in on them, and then you kick out for an open 3. So it doesn't mean there's one right way or another. Most teams these days just play 4 out, and it's more that there aren't a lot of skilled bigs in college basketball. Why? Because prior to the NIL situation, bigs went, Kelvin, as soon as possible to the next level so that they could start their clock and start getting paid, because it's hard to project a 6-foot guard outside of Kyrie Irving's skill set. It's hard to project a 6-foot guard at 18 who's going to be a contributor in the NBA. You can look at a guy who's 6'11", 250, who has athleticism, and you can teach that guy how to shoot. So it's always been a premium for 4s and 5s in the NBA, modern NBA. And so a lot of teams, they just don't have a pool to recruit those guys into college.
Kelvin?
Yeah, no, he's right. I mean, and Coach Lloyd has, made that his business. I mean, he's gotten several of those guys, and that's the reason why U of A is in the situation that they're in, is being able to have those guys. And he's lucky as well because he can go to the USA team and be the head coach over there and get a guy like Koa Pete. So, it's just one of those things, man. When you have those bigs and you can play through them, you just have a better team.
The Wildcats, as a team, rank among the nation's best in rebound margin. They're third. Other areas where they are tops in the country: scoring margin 5th, field goal percentage 6th, fast break points 9th, points per game 11th, free throws attempted per game, we talked about that earlier, 13th, free throws made per game also 13th, and assists per game 15th. All of that correlates into number 1 overall in the country, getting all 61 first-place votes in the AP poll and all 31 votes in the coaches poll as well. Unanimous, number 1, your Arizona Wildcats. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. When we come back, we will get you DK, sorta, with TL. We'll get the coach's thoughts on a topic of the day in college basketball or surrounding his Arizona Wildcats. Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day continues after this timeout on Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master planned community designed by nature, Factory Direct Mattress, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Discover your perfect vehicle at Cactus Auto, Tucson's trusted destination for certified pre-owned cars for over 30 years. They offer a wide range of certified pre-owned vehicles featuring the brands and models you love. Their finance experts are here to provide you with top dollar trade-in offers and help you find the best financing options, regardless of your credit history. With approved credit, enjoy no payments for up to 90 days. Trust Cactus Auto for quality, affordable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by incredible savings and a 7-day exchange guarantee. Visit cactusauto.com.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rocking K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rocking K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
The holidays are over, and right now is the best time to start your home renovation project. At the Window Depot, you get factory direct prices, no installers, no middleman, and serious savings. Windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, all in stock and ready to take home today. Perfect for DIYers and contractors who want to save thousands and get materials fast. New year, new projects at the lowest prices. Shop online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary, call ahead's welcome, or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Cross court over Del Oso. Belly feed it back. Aristode high left. High post now. Krivas, a deep 3, and it rolls in for Mo Krivas, his second made 3 of the season. Well, they gave him space. He said, okay, I'll make you pay.
Mo Krivas firing up 3-point shots. Hey, he's right now, by percentage, he's the best 3-point shooter on the team for the Arizona Wildcats. Let's see. Mo is shooting. He's 2 of 5. So he's actually not the best 3-point shooter. I thought he was 2 of 3. He's 2 of 5. So he's shooting 40%. Your best 3-point shooter by percentage is Toby Awaka, who's made 4 of 6. Of the guys who have taken 30 or more, your best 3-point shooter right now is Dwayne Aristode. How about that? At 49%, having made 22 of 45 on the season. So we'll see where the Wildcats, again, that's not something the Wildcats do a lot. They have taken almost 100 3-point shots less than their opponents.
Okay, what you just described is guys not on the scout, Kelvin. I mean, the guys, like, if you're talking about how you're going to slow Arizona down from the perimeter, you don't want Anthony Del Orso to get loose from out there. You want to limit Jaden Bradley's open looks because he's a senior, he can knock it down. So you don't worry about Tobe. His threes have come basically from drop. And when we talk about Dwayne Aristode, Kelvin, I mean, clearly people know that Dwayne Aristode can shoot. But when you have the aforementioned players I just mentioned, you have to worry about them more than you're worried about Dwayne Aristode getting off a three. And he's got a really quick release. So not surprised. When he gets those shots off, it looks like it's going to go in. Really good form on his shot. But he does not have, his name is not at the top of the scout of guys you're trying to take away for this Arizona Wildcat team.
No, not this year, not right now. But to me, he's definitely that form that he has, man. I would love for him to be able to get some more minutes, to be able to get some shots, man, because I think he is a great shooter as far as Aristode is concerned. But, again, playing inside out, I think that makes Yvonne a great shooter because he has that great catch and shoot ability as well. So, yeah, man, I don't think three-point shooting is going to be a big deal. When teams really try to overplay the inside, it'll give some opportunities up to be able to show that, what Del Orso and these guys could do.
All right, let's hear from the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats.
For all the questions you need answered, it's DK with TL. Our David Kelly asks Tommy Lloyd questions, and you get the answers. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
All right, DK, sort of with TL. There was no press conference this week, and we exhausted all of our questions to the coach with last week's 2 games. A week ago today, the NCAA announced that the Division I cabinet had approved immediate implementation of a 15-day transfer window in women's and men's basketball that would begin the day following both sports' respective NCAA tournament championship games. The NCAA Women's Tournament Championship will take place on Sunday, April the 5th. The men's title game is the next night on Monday, April the 6th. Previously, the portal had not opened had opened in March before the season was actually over. And it was during the men's and women's NCAA tournaments. So the change in this transfer window now will come after the season is over. This was recommended back in November. It was put into place last Wednesday by the committee. Tommy Lloyd was asked what he thinks of the new 15-day portal window.
I've heard about it, obviously, that it could happen. I mean, you know what? We'll adjust. There's so many things going on right now. To me, that's minutia, compared to everything else and the other decisions we got to make on this deal. It's just like every day. I mean, if you wanted to live and die by it, man, what a roller coaster that would be. I prefer to live and die with basketball games, not the rules surrounding the basketball games, because whatever rule they make today is going to be changed in 3 days when so like, I'm just like, man, here's my stance. I'm the head coach at Arizona. I love my basketball team. I'm going to have trust. Believe it or not, I'm going to have trust in the powers that be to make the decisions. I have no time to waste on giving input on these things because it's so crazy right now that if I gave input, why would I emotionally want to get invested in something that's like, I give input and I think it's a great idea and they don't do it and now my feelings are hurt. My team needs my attention right now. And I'm going to trust the administrators and the powers that be to make great decisions to move our game forward. Because you know what? We have a great game. The game of college basketball is great. Some of the stuff that are surrounding the game, maybe not so great. But let's keep our focus on the game. The game. That's where the focus should be because it's really special. And eventually this is all going to be worked out. And hopefully we quit talking about the other stuff. We're just focusing on the game.
And those are the questions that you needed answered. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
All right, that might have been a question I asked the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats. It was, in fact, asked by one Bruce Pascoe, our buddy over at the Arizona Daily Star. The new transfer window, 15 days immediately after the end of the college basketball seasons for both the men and the women. There'll be a different portal as well for teams that are changing their coaches. Players will get an additional 15 days after that. So if your head coach maybe is announced on May 1st, there'll be additional window that'll go from that point through May 16th, where players at that school can jump into the portal if they don't deem that the new coach is right for them, or they just want to see what potentially might be out there for them at that point as well. I don't think that's obviously anything the Wildcats are going to have to deal with. But, guys, this is how it should be. The portal should be after the season is over.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that after the season. I mean, it's tough when you see some of the stuff that happens in football where the guys have to choose right before the bowl game and stuff like that. But a lot of those guys already know they want to leave anyway. But with that being said, just as a coach, all you want is clarity on, what are we able to do? That's it. And I'm sure that's all Coach Lloyd want to know. Tell me what's legal and what we can do, and then we'll figure out, exactly how we want to continue to go about our recruiting.
So maybe call me a grandpa by this statement, but it used to be, guys, that the postseason mattered and bowl games mattered. And now what we're seeing is players sitting out for the bowl game to prepare for the NFL draft. We're seeing players transfer right before their team plays in an NCAA tournament. All I care about is the product on the court at the end of the day. If these guys are not going to commit to playing through an NCAA tournament run, as been the last couple of years where the portal opens before the NCAA tournament, there's no way that you should have the portal open anytime until after the NCAA championship game, for the simple reason that any of those players, if they're mentally checked out, they don't want to be there for their team, that's fine. But the idea of going on a visit to a new school, my team is about to play in the Sweet 16. I'm curious how much bump I can get on my NIL money right now. Like, guys, at some point, we have to put the product of college athletics at the forefront, because there's so much money swirling around these days. I want athletes to have the power, but it's a no-brainer to have it after the season ends, because you just don't need that distraction. The NCAA tournament is a great sporting event. Let's keep it that way.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Along with Kelvin Efon, JW Madden, my name is David Kelly, Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, getting you set for number one Arizona, Cincinnati tonight. It is basketball night in Arizona. The Wildcats back at McHale Center, which I'm sure will be rocking, as it always is, for the 7 o'clock tip-off. Brian Jeffries, Ryan Hansen. Ryan will be back on the mic tonight for your Wildcats. And let's mention this, because obviously this happened a little bit earlier this afternoon. But former Alabama standout Charles Bediako, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, who entered the 2023 NBA draft, had a two-way contract with the Spurs that year, has played in the G League, but has not played any games in the NBA. A judge granted a temporary restraining order allowing him to return to the Alabama Crimson Tide and play college basketball immediately.
He got a week.
Yeah.
He's got 1 week. He's eligible for a week until they can go through and figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, exactly. I heard somebody, I think it was our guy, Brian Peterson, tweeted out, if this happens, welcome back Azuolas Tubelis.
Yeah, I mean, the guidelines they put together 2 weeks ago, because of immense pressure from the outside, is that if you have played a single game or signed an actual NBA contract, you're still ineligible. Two-way contracts do not apply, and Charles never played a single game in the NBA, so he still fits that same description as we've talked about previously. It's just odd to me that you can have a situation, here we are mid-January, the topic came up, and within 12 hours, the injunction had been placed where he was granted a week until they could figure out what's going on of eligibility. So in essence, he's kind of in limbo. They can't say he's not eligible. They can't say he is eligible. So for the time being, that's a situation like Bill last year, right? Like, didn't he play in a college football game and then get...
Yeah.
So, I mean, for all we know, Charles Bediako is going to be ruled ineligible and can't come back. But for now, he's ready to suit up today if he needs to.
James H. Roberts Jr. of Tuscaloosa, he is the judge that ruled this today, saying that The player is immediately eligible to participate in all team activities with the Crimson Tide. He also ruled that the NCAA is restrained from threatening, imposing, attempting to impose, suggesting, or implying any penalties or sanctions against Bedico, Alabama, its coaches, or its players. So there you have that on that. All right, let's find out what's happening around college basketball.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
Pendel, right wing, goes to the foul line. Williams now over the top of the defense too. Davis is able to get the catch and finish over Trammell. Inbounded to the corner and then quick touch to the middle where Davis has it for 20.
Yeah, Jelaya Davis was on fire last night for the Kansas Jayhawks women's basketball team as they came into town and knocked off your ladies from Arizona by a score of 80-69. It got good, though. This game got good. Got down there, got a chance to see a little bit of this last night, second half, and that was when the Wildcats turned the Jets on thanks to Cameron Kitchen.
Back over to Samea, who hands it off to Cornfield. Gets inside the arc, then back over to Kitchen's going to wind up a three. She's got it down. Cam stops, goes back to the trailing Cornfield, and then back over to the vacated corner where Kitchen wants another. She's got it down, and ICCU charity three, and the deficit is just 4. Lindell's three is not good. Back up now as the Wildcats have this one for the tie from the mid-range. It's had by Cornfield. 12 straight. Scored by the Cats over the last 4 minutes. And now a timeout is taken by Kansas, which has lost all of its 14-point lead.
Derek Palmer with the call last night on Freedom 1400 KTUC and the Arizona Sports Enterprises Radio Network. Cameron Kitchen, how about that performance last night? 6 of 11 in 19 minutes, 4 threes. She finished with 16 points. For the Wildcats, Nolani Cornfield had 12 and 10 assists. She was 3 rebounds short of a triple-double. 12 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds for Nolani Cornfield. Unfortunately, the Wildcats, although they came back to tie, could not hold or take the lead, and Kansas was able to close it out.
Yeah, we talked a lot about when your leading scorer goes down, you got to get shots up. It's interesting if you go look at Cameron Kitchen's stats for the season. She had 44 field goal attempts through her first 14 games and had 11 last night, guys. So she'd been averaging about 3.5. But Kelvin, I mean, when you've got your leading scorer go down potentially for the season, you got to figure out where those shots are going to come from. And I think right now it's just feed the hot hand. Whoever's got it going. And in that second half, Kitchen had it going.
Yeah, whenever you got it going like that, teammates got to understand it, coach got to understand it and start feeding you, and it looks like that's what, exactly they did. And, when someone goes down, man, it sucks. For a teammate, you don't want to see that, but it kind of gets exciting because somebody else had to step up off the bench, and some of the starters got to, get a chance to get some more shots, play outside of the role that they originally game plan for at the beginning of the year, and you end up finding some diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, Kelvin, she got up 2 shots in the previous 4 games combined, yeah. 2 field goal attempts in her previous 4 games, and 6 out of 11 last night.
Yeah, 6 out of the last 7 games, she didn't even score a single point, and put up a 16 spot last night. So good to see from Cameron Kitchen. Unfortunately, the ladies lost, and that's a game that you feel like they should have been able to win even without Michaela Purdue. They've lost a couple of games at home that potentially could have had them in a nice spot because wins are going to be tough to come by as this season goes on for this Arizona women's basketball team. They'll head down to play Iowa State coming up this weekend. We'll try to get you a little bit of what the coach had to say coming up a little bit later in our show. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. It is 520-848-1290. When we come back, we'll get you your scouting report. Scott Springer writes the beat for the UC Bearcats at the Cincinnati Enquirer, and he will join us to tell you everything you need to know about Wes Miller's UC squad. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Right Way is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 11,000 five-star Google reviews, you can trust Right Way to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Right Way today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of five-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Your support has given me a safe place to sleep, a shower, and food in my stomach. Thank you.
The programs here have been life-changing. Thank you.
Thanks to your support, I now have the resources to maintain my sobriety.
Here I found a safe place to heal, and I found my way to God. Thank you.
Your support has made me a better mother and provided me a safe place in my recovery with me and my children.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you would like to help, or if you know someone who needs help, go to grmtucson.com.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Wildcat fans, why wait for a great night's sleep? At Factory Direct Mattress in Tucson, you get comfort for life and deals you can't get anywhere else. Shop top-rated brands like the award-winning Puffy, Lisa, and our FDM lineup, all at Factory Direct Savings. No gimmick, no pressure, just comfort that helps you wake up feeling like a champion. Find us at 3936 West Ina Road or at fdmtucson.com. That's fdmtucson.com. Easy to find, easy to say. Stop by today, sleep better tonight, and get ready for Arizona's next victory.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from